IDW's line of ongoing Star Trek comics have already made many stellar contributions to the franchise's sprawling lore. But perhaps its most touching thread has been the deepening of Spock and Worf's friendship, as Spock openly affirms that the Klingon is his last living friend in the latest issue of the Defiant series, Star Trek Defiant #21, written by Christopher Cantwell, with art by Angel Unzueta, solidifies the connection between two of Trek's most beloved characters, with Spock going as far as to say their relationship is no less strong than the one between him and his oldest allies. The development of this bond across multiple generations of Trek has been pivotal to making Defiant a definitive portrayal of both Worf and Spock, a duo fans didn't realize they needed until it was given to them. One of the exceptional things about IDW publishing Star Trek comic book revival has been the way it has thrown characters from disparate corners of the franchise's universe together, from across different TV shows and eras, and worked diligently to make every interaction between different pairings of iconic characters add to the overall trajectory of the book. Writer Christopher Cantwell might not have planned for a friendship to blossom between Worf and Spock from the beginning, but it has been one of Defiant's core virtues. However it developed, Worf and Spock's increasingly close dynamic stands out, as much because of how the two characters clash as how they reflect each other. In other words, they are as much an odd couple as a perfect pair. And their moment together at the end of Star Trek Defiant #21, in which Spock emphasizes their bond and the two share a Vulcan greeting before teasing each other, feels like a well-earned checkpoint for the pair as they prepare to face the galaxy's next great crisis together. IDW Star Trek has put Worf through the emotional ringer over the past several years, as he has continued to be central to the drama and conflict that drives both Defiant and the flagship Star Trek ongoing series. Consequently, Spock has come to play an essential role as a counterbalancing force in Worf's life, helping him to maintain perspective and continue to serve as one of the pivotal heroes of his generation. Their friendship has grown out of Spock's wise counsel and sage-like perspective, because Worf has responded appropriately to them. That is to say, Worf has risen to every challenge that he has so far faced as the captain of the Defiant. Even during some of the most dire moments the Star Trek galaxy has ever faced, Spock himself has drawn parallels between his legendary best friend and longtime superior officer, Captain James T. Kirk and Worf. And it is evident that, at least in Spock's estimation, Worf has lived up to the comparison. Otherwise, Spock would never have made it. This, if nothing else, signifies how solid their friendship truly has become, as Star Trek Defiant #21 reiterates. Over the years, the tenor and tone of Star Trek, across all its various multimedia branches, has evolved to reflect the prevailing sentiments of the current era. In other words, as pop culture in general has become grittier and darker, so has Trek. To a certain degree, IDW's comic book take on the franchise, as exemplified by Defiant, is no exception to this. Thankfully, though, the creative teams behind this Trek renaissance have not forgotten that a rich vein of optimism is always a necessary ingredient to telling a true Star Trek story. Worf individually have faced incredible darkness. Storylines like his growing attachment to Spock have given Defiant its much-needed lightness. At times, it has even been a valuable source of levity to balance out the gravity of the threats faced by Captain Worf and his crew, and Captain Sisko and his crew in the main Star Trek title. Hopefully, the series will continue to emphasize their dynamic moving forward, allowing it to grow even more significant. The development of genuine friendships out of camaraderie has been a staple of Star Trek going back to the original series, when Spock was part of the progenital Trek friendship between him and Captain Kirk. All these years later, Spock is part of another all-time great Trek bond. And now that his connection with Worf has truly begun to sink in with fans of the franchise, it is something that Star Trek should continue to cultivate and let thrive in the long term.